My Lord, it's hard to follow a speech that mentions gobby backbenchers without taking it personally. But anyway, firstly, my Lords, can I commend Baroness Dowell and the committee for such a thought-provoking report. The variety of new material and the wide array of witnesses and opinion shows a recognition that the evolving news media landscape requires a certain openness, even humility. None of us have ready-made solutions to present challenges. I've made copious notes about the report, but in just a few minutes, let me raise some issues that might need further exploration. In Chapter 7 on dis and misinformation, many witnesses raised unease about mission creep and how these elastic terms are often weaponised to denigrate viewpoints subjectively judged as wrongthink or harmful. This has led to accusations of partisan one-sidedness. Official fact-checkers haven't helped. BBC Verify has, to say the least, a checkered career and certainly has ideological blind spots. Since the report was written, Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, has admitted the company's third-party fact-checkers were politically biased. The leaked Facebook papers and X-Files have showed that politicians pressurised new media outlets to label factual, if inconvenient, truths as misinformation as a precursor to censorship. No wonder Spike's editor Tom Slater was so forthright with the committee, calling the new anti-disinformation industry a new anti-dissent industry. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complacent about allowing untruths to go unchallenged, but I'm not sure that fact-checkers or indeed media literacy is the answer. Ironically, the perceived inconsistency of the mainstream media's factual gatekeepers has fuelled a broader cynicism about who to believe and expertise of any sort. And interestingly, some of the more effective counters to this are coming from within alt media's ranks. What does the Minister think of community notes on X or Meta, for example? Or what does she think of author Douglas Murray's intervention when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast to challenge him directly for a disregard of due diligence of guests on Israel and Ukraine? This has led to the so-called Podcastistan pushback and debate on the dangers of ill-informed opinion presented as fact, led by fellow podcasters such as Konstantin Kisin and Winston Marshall. And I think there's hopeful signs of self-correction here. Young people especially tune in to news-adjacent podcasts as they feel ill-served by mainstream news. So Chapter 6 on serving a diverse range of audiences was key for me. One concern: a call for more diversity in the media can be confusing as the term has become politicised and interpreted through the prism of identity politics. It hardly ever considers class, and diversity of viewpoints is even rarer. It's one reason why new market entrants such as Talk TV and especially GB News are snobbishly dismissed and subject to some frankly hysterical attacks from journalists within the news industry. I recently read one criticism of GB News for its lack of diversity because it had given double the coverage on the rape grooming gangs than all of the 5 news channels combined. This was used as an accusation, but perhaps it shows underreporting of a story that tens of thousands feel passionately about and that their concerns about it are being ignored. The report does tell us that complaints to Ofcom have risen by 600% since the launch of GB News and Talk TV, and no doubt some of that's merited. But while some will assume that that immediately equates to guilt, I have a warning. A new brand of anti-free speech activism is skewing perception. In February, infamous NGO The Good Law Project delivered nearly 72,000 complaints it had collected to Ofcom about an alleged transphobic, Islamophobic joke made by GB News Free Speech Nation presenter Josh Howie. Without commenting on the specifics myself, to note that complaint has been refuted by many leading lesbian and gay campaigners. Yet another tranche of complaints about Howie's comments were made directly to Ofcom, but after an orchestrated online campaign featuring a misleading edited clip, misinformation. Some media commentators, however, gleefully reported, suggesting that this means that because it's the most complained about programme in Ofcom's history, it's proof that GB News should be closed down. But the incident occurred on a comedy show, Headliners, where 3 comedians, including Howie, made jokes as they review the papers.
Excuse me. Could I remind Noble Lady that the advisory time is 4 minutes? Can you please wind up? Can you please wind up? Thank you.
Last sentence. It was no more risky than, though funnier than Have I Got News for You, which is often offensive but doesn't offend the metropolitan elite. We shouldn't have 2-tier regulation.